Was this Russia's karma arriving? At exactly 11:47 p.m. on August 3, 2025, a thunderous blast shook Berdyansk in Ukraine's southeast Zaporizhia region. For over 50 miles, residents smelled a harsh metallic burn hanging in the air as a massive dark column shot nearly 160 feet into the night sky. Minutes later, the origin became clear. A Russian military installation worth roughly $5 billion seized in 2022 was swallowed in roaring flames and choking black smoke. Reports revealed a $10 million power substation at the site ignited first, triggering the entire blaze. Poor firefighting response let the inferno race uncontrolled, burning key sections and shutting down power across the region. And here's the twist: this wasn't a random barracks, it was a critical logistics hub, the beating heart for repairing and resupplying Russia's tanks. How does a stronghold like this erupt? Cosmic payback? Tell us what you think as we continue. Let's rewind to 11:28 p.m. In an abandoned, weed-choked field 11 miles north of the base, a rugged custom military truck sat hidden in total darkness. 18 feet long and menacing like a movie-armored rig, its cargo bay measured over 7 feet wide and 6+ feet tall. Inside that steel beast, 5 armed Switchblade 600 drones prepared for a shocking precision strike Russia never expected. At 11:29 p.m., the mission initiated. Hydraulic doors eased open, revealing 6 sleek composite launch tubes ready to spit death into the night. Each tube stood 6.5 feet long with a 9-inch diameter, holding a single Switchblade. No operators on site, just silence. The entire attack was being run remotely, a ghost strike controlled by a Ukrainian fighter 25 miles away deep under forest canopy. On his rugged military tablet, the operator saw a live tactical map of Berdyansk. A double-tap confirmed launch commands, encrypted and relayed through secure satellite links. At 11:31, the elevated rail angled up slowly, like a predator stretching before striking. Powered by a whisper-quiet electric motor, the Switchblade launched, climbing at roughly 70 miles per hour. No roar, just a stealthy rise into darkness. Its comms hopped across more than 100 frequencies every second, outpacing Russian jammers. A relay drone orbited nearby like a loyal shield, ensuring signal stability. And if Russia ever managed to drown the link, the Switchblade could go autonomous instantly, flying from onboard sensors and mission data like a taxi that still knows the route without GPS. Skimming just 1 to 150 feet above terrain, the drone hugged ground cover like a ghost in tall grass. The 11-mile route would finish in under 10 minutes, yet for the Russian defenders, those minutes would feel painfully long. The operator watched HD nose cam video in real time. The camera showed dark farmland, faint city glows, and quiet roads. Telemetry pinged. 3 miles to target. Inside the Russian-occupied base, subtle defensive shifts began, radar sweeps tightening, patrol motions changing, as instincts sensed danger coming. Beneath floodlights, automated welders repaired tank hulls at a pace of 20 per month. Robots shifted 500 tons of munitions into underground bunkers. A 110 kilovolt substation pushed 5 megawatts, powering radars, cameras, and perimeter systems. A Panzer S-1 battery guarded the airspace, tracking up to 4 inbound aerial targets inside a 22-mile bubble. Its missiles, capable of Mach 3, paired with Buck M2E systems for layered detection and interception. A Buck radar swept a 120-degree arc to 20 miles with a 95% success rate against low-flying threats. Meanwhile, the Krasuka-4 electronic warfare unit projected massive jamming power across GPS bands and encrypted links. The Panzer, worth $16 million, held 12 ready missiles, but its 5-second delay was fatal. Flying low at 70 miles per hour, the Switchblade exploited urban masking while its thermal seeker locked onto the 5-megawatt substation with under 10-foot precision. Telemetry from the first Switchblade confirmed a precise position 3 miles from the Berdyansk Zenovari base. The second drone launched immediately and both slipped into the city, exploiting a predictable 6 to 9 mile radar gap caused by the curvature of the Earth. A relay drone kept a secured encrypted control link from more than 60 miles away, preserving guidance and outpacing local jamming attempts. Attackers deliberately flew a deceptive ingress profile, using a wide, low arc to confuse defenders and mask the true threat. The first drone's radar-absorbent coating reduced its return, while the second accelerated toward the target. Onboard AI continuously adjusted for gusts and obstacles, keeping terminal accuracy within roughly 1 foot of the intended aim point. Panzer operators were overwhelmed, managing simultaneous returns as the battery became overloaded. A 5-second reaction latency and limited engagement slots left the system unable to prioritize all contacts, while the Krasuka 4 blurred and smeared the radar picture into an electronic haze. If the data link failed, both drones would immediately switch to autonomous mode within 50 milliseconds, relying on inertial navigation and electro-optical infrared sensors to complete the route with about 10-foot accuracy without satellite aid. The second Switchblade locked the 110 kilovolt substation as a distinct 5-megawatt thermal target on the display. Then a blast-induced gust of roughly 25 miles per hour nudged the inbound drone about 60 feet off its planned track, creating a tense moment. A Panzer operator ordered an interceptor salvo. One interceptor accelerated skyward but failed to intercept the small, low-signature vehicle. Krasuka emissions and the drone's masked urban path caused the missile to chase empty air rather than the real vehicle. With GPS degraded, the Switchblade shifted to its internal inertial navigation unit using a fiber-optic gyroscope to maintain a steady course. The INS allowed stable terminal maneuvering, remaining unaffected by radio jamming and the electromagnetic storm around the site. The EO, divided by IR Seeker, reacquired the substation's thermal outline through smoke and haze by operating in the 8 to 12 micron band, allowing terminal guidance to hone back onto the heat signature even when visual cues were obscured. A mobile Russian electronic warfare vehicle activated and successfully knocked the relay drone offline, severing the external link. The swarm responded by switching to a secure laser data link, enabling line-of-sight high-bandwidth coordination despite radio interference. The swarm AI instantly reallocated roles. One drone acted as decoy, emitting false radar returns to draw fire while others advanced. Panzer expended 4 ready interceptors on the bait, depleting its magazine and forcing a 30-second mechanical reload window. Reserve forces scrambled, but arrived too late. The swarm anticipated and adapted, continuing to target and degrade critical electronic defenses and networked systems in a layered, systematic campaign. A new threat powered up a Tor M2 air defense system locked the Switchblade with its 9 S-36 radar spinning at 60 RPM. A 9 M331 missile fired at nearly Mach 2.8 to end the incursion. The drone's FLIR feed sharpened, showing 3 glowing transformers radiating nearly 570 degrees Fahrenheit amid burned T-72 hulls and stacked ammunition. The missile closed fast. The Switchblade spiraled in a tight 150-foot corkscrew, thrust surging and speed climbing to 125 miles per hour as sensors micro-adjusted pitch and roll to survive the final approach. The inertial system steered flawlessly through electromagnetic chaos. On the Ukrainian side, the operator leaned in, whispering, 60 seconds. His screen showed the entire swarm's synchronized data web adapting in real time. Russian screens flickered, then signals vanished completely. The Panzer's computer overheated by several degrees, slowing 20% and lagging seconds behind reality as the Switchblade pressed inside the final kilometer. The Switchblade armed its 18-pound explosive warhead, guided by GPS to within a foot. Thermal sensors confirmed the blinding heat signature. Sirens wailed, jammers roared at maximum power, and cooling fans screamed as racks strained under overload. At full commit, the drone plunged at roughly 115 miles per hour. At 30 feet altitude, the fuse armed in sync with INS and EO divided by IR sensors for perfect burst timing. It became a precision projectile built to break a fortress. Impact unleashed a crushing shockwave, pulverizing thick-walled bunkers. The hardened nose penetrated before detonation, maximizing internal destruction and igniting fuel in transformer tanks for a roaring chain blast. Thermal imagery would show a blinding white flash. High-voltage conduits vaporized as electricity arced wildly. Steel frames buckled under more than 100,000 pounds of pressure as the substation vanished in fire. The blast raced to an ammunition depot. 50 tons of rockets and fuel erupted in brutal sequence. Shockwaves flattened tanks like tin shells. At least 10 T-72 seconds worth $20 million were erased instantly. Power dropped to zero. Servers died mid-command. Surveillance towers blinked out, and automated vehicles froze on their tracks, as operators stumbled through smoke-filled dark corridors. Outside, flames licked 60 feet high. Black smoke climbed half a mile. Heat shimmer melted paint-off trucks parked 2 to 100 feet away as commanders screamed into dead radios. 3 transformers destroyed. 15 tanks gone. 30% of stored ammunition lost over $10 million in seconds. At least 48 hours of operational blackout and a 20% slowdown in frontline resupply. A backpack-sized warhead turned a hardened fortress into twisted steel and burning asphalt. What stood as a symbol of occupation now smoldered beneath a ghost strike crafted continents away. Beyond the wreckage lies a profound shift. Smart tactics, stealth, and precision, letting a smaller force carve strategic wounds against a heavyweight military power rewriting the modern battlefield. This operation marks a new era where asymmetric tools crush expensive assets. A stunning demonstration of Ukrainian ingenuity, leaving the world to question how modern doctrine must evolve. Share your thoughts. History is unfolding.